Late in the evening, Abigail is practicing ballet in an empty theater. At the same time, a group of criminals is planning their move. The hacker disables all the security cameras at Abigail's house, and the sniper gets on the roof. When Abigail leaves the theater, her driver picks her up, not knowing there's a tracker under the car. As soon as the car starts moving, the kidnappers follow. The hacker unlocks the house doors, and 3 criminals sneak into Abigail's bedroom to hide. One of the criminals, a woman, realizes they'll be kidnapping a child and protests since she doesn't usually involve kids, but the others tell her to go along with it. Abigail gets home and lies on her bed, giving the criminals their chance to strike. One guy tries to hold her down, but Abigail stabs his hand with a pencil. Another man takes over, covers her mouth, and captures her. The first guy tries to punch her, but the woman stops him from hurting Abigail. Then, she injects Abigail with a sedative to make her sleep. The other part of the team waits outside and warns those in the house that a car is coming. The sniper watches the approaching car while the trio quickly puts Abigail in a bag and sneaks out through a window. As they cross the garden and meet the sniper, the alarms go off, so they run. Fortunately, the last 2 criminals pick them up just in time, and they escape without any problems. During the ride, they check Abigail's pulse to ensure she's okay and blindfold her. When they're about to hit traffic, the hacker tells the driver to take a different route. The driver suddenly turns and hides the van behind a big truck. Eventually, they arrive at an old abandoned mansion outside the city, where they meet Lambert, the guy who hired them. Lambert doesn't tell them who her dad is, but collects their phones to avoid tracking. Before leaving, Lambert gives each team member a code name inspired by the Rat Pack. Afterward, the team enjoys all the drinks in the house. Joey refuses to share her candy with Dean, who tries to guess everyone's backstory but fails. When Joey mocks him, the others bet some money to see if she can do better. By observing their body language, clothes, and personalities, she accurately identifies who they are. Frank is a detective, Peter is a dumb mob enforcer, Sammy the hacker is wealthy and does it for fun, Rickles is a former Marine sniper, and Dean is a sociopathic driver. In return, Frank realizes Joey is a recovering addict. Joey then checks on Abigail, who complains the blindfold is too tight. Joey covers her face and removes the blindfold. She also recuffs Abigail's hands and front to make her more comfortable. Seeing Abigail crying, Joey reassures her they won't hurt her and only want the money, making a pinky promise. Joey shares she has a son, and Abigail reveals her father doesn't care about her. Before Joey leaves, Abigail apologizes for what's going to happen to her. Worried, Joey tells Frank that Abigail's father might be a violent man. Frank dismisses it as Abigail trying to make Joey feel bad, but he secretly goes to check on her. Seeing her without the blindfold, he covers his face and points his gun at her until she swears she didn't see him. Frank then presses her until she reveals her dad is Christophe Lazar. Panicking, Frank runs back to the group and announces he's leaving. The others demand an explanation, and Frank reveals that Abigail is the daughter of Christophe Lazar, a dangerous and powerful crime boss. Joey and Rickles also recognize the name and share Frank's concern. They argue about what to do next and decide to stay and get the money, planning to use it to escape and start a new life far away. They agree to keep an eye on the perimeter and keep all doors closed. Later, Joey hears a noise while exploring the house and finds an open window causing the sound. She opens it fully and sees an old statue of a father and child. Rickles then approaches, tries to flirt with her, but fails. He tells her he doesn't trust the others, and they agree to watch each other's backs. Meanwhile, Sammy finds a room with a TV and is startled by Dean, who pranks her and then tries to flirt. Sammy kicks him out angrily. Dean then draws on a sleeping Peter's face and continues wandering around the house. He finds a dark corridor filled with old pictures, including one of a girl who looks like Abigail. In the basement kitchen, a door opens by itself, and when he investigates, a rat startles him. As he tries to leave, something unseen grabs his legs and pulls him back. Sammy hears his screams and finds Dean in the basement, sitting at a table. When she approaches, his head falls off, and Sammy screams and vomits. The others arrive and agree that Sammy couldn't have done it. The scene reminds them of Lazar's hitman, Valdez. Years ago, 3 top members of Lazar's gang were captured by the FBI. Before their trial, They were hidden in a hotel with agents guarding them. The next morning, their bodies were found with heads cut off and organs missing, with no way in or out except the 23rd floor door. Worried, they check on Abigail and find her safe. Rickles wants to leave, but when he opens the front door, they find another barred gate. Peter's attempt to push it open triggers a security system that covers all the windows, trapping them inside. Joey realizes it's a trap. Rickles finds his weapon missing. Joey asks Abigail if she's seen anyone else, but Abigail swears she hasn't and says Frank threatened her, claiming he worked for her dad and that his real name was Valdez. Joey and Rickles share what they know and decide to look for a way out. As Joey tries to leave the room, she hears a noise and sees Rickles standing awkwardly. She checks on him and finds he's severely injured. His body falls into her arms, and she rushes downstairs, furious, accusing Frank of being Valdez and killing Rickles. Frank pulls out his gun and says Joey is being manipulated by Abigail. He asks Peter to deal with Abigail, but Joey disarms Peter before he can shoot. Sammy and Frank arrive, leading to an argument. Meanwhile, Abigail easily removes the handcuffs and stands up, revealing her true nature. She's actually a vampire. Using a ballet move, she jumps on Peter and is about to bite him, but Frank shoots her. To everyone's shock, Abigail sits up as the wound heals itself. Joey shoots her too, but it's clear that bullets don't work, so they run and lock the door. They realize Abigail was Valdez all along. The doors have magnetically sealed locks and thick shutters, so they can't be broken, and Sammy doesn't have the tools to hack them. Everyone is tense, and when Peter asks them to slow down, Frank grabs him by the neck, threatening him to shut up. In the end, Frank and Joey grab pool sticks to make steaks while Sammy looks for garlic in the kitchen. Joey doesn't help because she thinks killing Abigail would only make her dad angrier. Once they're ready, they rush into Abigail's room only to find it empty. Suddenly, they hear music and find Abigail dancing with Dean's body in another room. At first, she pretends to be sweet, but when Sammy attacks, Abigail jumps on her and sniffs the garlic, which does nothing. Frank is pushed away when he tries to help, but Peter manages to pick her up. However, Abigail easily throws him to the ground and takes the cross from his necklace, hitting his chest with it to make him bleed, confirming crosses don't affect her either. Next, Frank tries to stab her from behind, but Abigail quickly disarms him and stabs his leg instead. Giving up, the trio goes back downstairs where Joey helps them with their wounds. She reminds them that the injection worked when they kidnapped Abigail, and they still have a spare. They agree to split up, and whoever finds Abigail first must inform Joey through their earpieces so she can surprise her with the syringe. The group starts searching the house. Sammy takes a dirty corridor where she's startled by bats. This causes her to fall into a pool filled with rotting bodies, and she screams as she crawls out. Meanwhile, Abigail surprises Peter, who runs away and locks the door behind him. However, Abigail breaks the door and chases him, moving with ballet-like grace. As Peter runs, Frank opens a door and hits him, causing him to fall off the rail. Abigail then chases Frank, pushing him down the stairs before sitting on him. Joey tries to inject her, but Abigail hits her hand, sending the syringe flying through a locked gate. Sammy grabs Abigail and pulls her away, but Abigail bites her arm. Next, Abigail grabs Frank by the leg and starts flying, but Peter tackles her, making her drop Frank. Peter holds Abigail down while Joey retrieves the syringe and injects the sedative into Abigail. The child makes threats and calls Joey awful things before passing out. Sammy freaks out, wondering if she'll transform because of the bite. Moments later, Abigail wakes up locked in an elevator. Joey says they'll let her go if she reveals how to get out. Instead, Abigail confesses she planned everything and that Lambert works for her. She knows all their real names and backstories. Sammy started her career by stealing from her rich parents' bank account and eventually targeted a big fish. Peter served as muscle for a crime family and stole from his crew. Frank infiltrated a crime family as a detective, but ended up enjoying the illegal life. Joey, a former army medic, was fired for becoming addicted to medicine and left her son with his bad father to become an underground doctor. She accidentally killed a gang member while trying to remove a bullet. It turns out everyone here wronged Lazar or his gang in some way. Joey accuses Abigail of killing her dad's enemies just to gain his love. Abigail admits she didn't kill them right away because she likes playing with her food. She offers to let two of them live if they free her. Frank suggests killing her, making Abigail angry and changing her offer to saving only the one who frees her. Peter takes out his gun, and Joey does the same, explaining Abigail is lying. When Peter tries to free her anyway, Joey shoots him. The group leaves, except for Frank, who volunteers to keep guard. After the others are gone, Frank tells Abigail he'll let her go if she tells him how to get out. Abigail explains that pulling Agatha Christie's book in the library opens a secret door. Frank thanks her but refuses to release her. Abigail easily breaks the door, pushes him, and dances toward him. At that moment, Joey arrives and breaks wooden planks off a window, allowing sunlight in. The light instantly burns Abigail's hand, and she runs to hide in the shadows to regrow it while Joey and Frank run away. The entire group makes it to the library and stays under the sunlight coming through the high window Joey opened earlier. Sammy is relieved when nothing happens to her, thinking she won't turn into a vampire. Frank pulls the book Abigail mentioned, but nothing happens because she lied. Frustrated, Frank throws a tantrum, while Joey tries unsuccessfully to break down the wall. Running out of candy, Joey becomes very anxious and explains to Sammy that she left her son to get clean and planned to use this job's money to go back to him and start over. Hearing the word reset gives Sammy an idea. If they can find the power source, she can short the locks. The team splits up to search the house. Suddenly, Abigail plays music again and takes control of Sammy through the bite. Sammy quickly transforms into a vampire and attacks Peter, biting his neck. Abigail speaks through Sammy while she feeds and kills Peter, then makes Sammy dance like her. Eventually, Joey and Frank arrive. Sammy keeps her face hidden, but the others are suspicious. Sammy reveals her transformation, and Joey and Frank immediately run away. Sammy chases them to the library, where Abigail uses Sammy's voice to explain she hates that room because it's where her father turned her. Joey grabs a tray and reflects the sunlight onto Sammy, causing her body to explode. At that moment, a secret door opens. Although Joey and Frank think it might be a trap, they decide to go through it anyway. After going through a corridor, Joey and Frank find the mansion's control room and Lambert, who is a vampire too. Lambert grabs Joey by the neck and explains everything. Abigail turned him 2 years ago when she found out he helped Frank infiltrate the gang. She also threatened his family, so now he brings all her father's enemies here for her to play with. He's already notified Lazar, who is on his way to the mansion. Lambert wants to kill both Abigail and her dad, so he offers to turn Frank if he promises to help. Frank agrees, so Lambert knocks Joey out and bites Frank. Next, Lambert makes Frank drink his blood, and Joey wakes up to watch Frank painfully transform into a vampire. Lambert tells Frank to feed on Joey, but Frank stabs Lambert with a stake instead, causing Lambert to explode. At that moment, Abigail arrives and tries to attack, but Frank overpowers her and drinks her blood. Joey uses the chance to reach the control panel, deactivates the security measures, and retrieves her phone. But when she runs down the secret corridor, the exit is locked. While Frank finishes feeding on Abigail and drops her body, Joey calls her son and leaves a heartfelt message on his voicemail. Frank finds her and pushes her back into the library, where he starts throwing her around, smashing her against the furniture. Joey tries to defend herself, but her punches do nothing to a vampire. Then he grabs her by the neck and throws her down, but Abigail catches her just in time. Abigail, now weak, explains she's too weak to defeat him alone and begs Joey to help her kill Frank, promising to let her go so she can see her son again. Frank approaches them and the girls team up to fight him. Despite their efforts, he's clearly stronger than both of them combined. They struggle to gain the upper hand, but Frank's newfound vampire strength makes him nearly unbeatable. After Frank knocks down Abigail, he stabs Joey in the shoulder with a stake, pinning her to a pillar. He then resumes fighting Abigail, biting her again as she raises her pinky to remind Joey of their promise. Once Abigail is down, Frank pulls Joey off the stake and bites her neck before throwing her to the floor. When she wakes up, Frank uses his vampire powers to compel her to pick up the stake and go after Abigail. However, Joey is pretending. She turns around and pushes Frank, giving Abigail the chance to jump on him. Abigail fights him again, explaining that vampire powers take time to fully develop, so he can't control or transform Joey yet. While they're distracted, Joey retrieves the stake and pulls Frank down. She and Abigail team up to stab him, making him explode. Afterward, Joey worries she might transform, but Abigail reassures her that it won't happen because Frank is dead. As promised, Abigail lets Joey go and tells her to find her son. Suddenly, someone grabs Joey's shoulder. It's Abigail's father, Lazar. He reveals he has had many names over the years and intends to kill Joey. However, Abigail defends her, saying Joey saved her life and was there for her when he wasn't. Lazar kisses Joey's hand in gratitude and lets her go. Joey rushes back to the van and discovers she still has a lollipop left. She eats it while driving away, feeling a mix of relief and determination to reunite with her son. Don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling stories and updates.